We just received news that Governor Greg Abbott is not only dropping the face mask mandate next Wednesday, but allowing all businesses to operate at 100% capacity in Texas. What was your response to learning of the news?
Are we on, or
Yes,
is this?
yeah. I had started.
Oh, okay.
So.
Oh, okay. Well, that obviously puts New Mexico in a tough situation, specifically here in Las Cruces. Obviously that's governor of Texas. I think that following the suggestions of Dr. Fauci, I still think everyone should wear face masks. You don't want to see a huge spike in COVID. Nonetheless, I also think that they should probably gradually reopen businesses. I don't know to go right to 100%. I think maybe starting off 50% perhaps, and see how that goes, and just kind of tread carefully. Because like anything else, most businesses, I don't think can ramp up to 100% right off the bat. I don't think, and so I think it just sends probably a wrong message. But I'm here in New Mexico, so I don't get to vote for Mr. Abbott.
Say that one more time, because you broke up just a little bit when you were.
However.
Oh, sorry, you broke up just a bit when you were talking about how you would go about it, maybe going 50%, a gradual increase.
Yeah. So what I was saying is, obviously that the governor of Texas, he wants to move to 100%. I think that's ill-advised. I think it's important to probably, first, I still think face mask should be worn. And I'm using Dr. Fauci as my guide. He's helped us through this far, and I think his advice has been spot on. Nonetheless, I think that restaurants probably, or businesses, should probably be allowed to open up maybe at 50% capacity and slowly increase that, just to make sure there are no spike in numbers. To go right to 100%, I think would be very difficult. But that does put a lot of pressure on us here in Las Cruces. In fact, later on this afternoon, I'll probably be compiling or having a press release put forth asking the governor to allow restaurants to revert back to the 25% indoors and 50% outdoors for a couple reasons. One, although our positivity rate is a little bit under 5%, and to wait until the 10th of March is pretty difficult, especially now with El Paso and Texas opening up at 100%. Also, our cases, as you well know, are decreasing dramatically, which is a good thing. And I want to thank the residents of Las Cruces and southern New Mexico for adhering to wearing masks and social distancing and such. And I think that this would be very difficult for our businesses here, especially when you have our neighbors 50 minutes away, 100% open.
And, we're in such a unique position in southern New Mexico because with our proximity to Texas and with El Paso and Las Cruces being so intertwined, families working in one city, living in another, this not only makes us vulnerable to a loss of revenue, like you mentioned, for restaurants, but also vulnerable to perhaps increased cases on the Texas side of the border. Can you talk about that?
Absolutely, yes, you never know. That could work both ways. Residents could possibly take it in. They could be asymptomatic going into El Paso, or vice versa, perhaps bringing something back. So that's something there that, I recognize it. And it's been very difficult, and I understand that people they're tired. They're tired of staying home and being inside. And I think that's why I hope the governor will allow us to reopen even at 25%. That would be fine.
And specifically indoor dining, the 25%.
Yes, 25% indoor dining, correct. Yes. The good thing is the weather's starting to change, and so it's starting to be nice outside. But nonetheless, it still would be nice to have that 25% indoor.
I know that with previous lifting of restrictions in Texas, you've made public service announcements on your social media asking residents not to travel to El Paso. How do you feel now?
Well, same. I would like to, if they could, refrain from going to El Paso. I know that it gets tempting. They want to go to various restaurants and they want to have a dinner out in a place, but that's why I think that the governor would allow that here. One of the other things that I was going to suggest to the governor is allow those that have been inoculated, those who already have the vaccine, perhaps they could be exempt, and let restaurants or businesses open, specifically restaurants for them. If you think about it, if you are in public safety or a category where you've have the vaccine, why not be open for them at the very minimum? That's a compromise at least. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes.
Sorry, I was muted. You
Right,
couldn't
I
tell.
can't hear you.
Sorry, I was muted, but wearing my mask at the same time. So you would ask the governor to allow inoculated residents to not factor into the occupancy restrictions, essentially. Is that what you're arguing?
Well, I guess I guess what I'm trying to say is it's kind of out of the box thinking, where allow those that have received the vaccine, let them be served inside a restaurant. Let them have that opportunity, and restaurants, I'm sure, would enjoy that business, and it's probably safer. It's a nice compromise. We'll see.